Have you ever noticed something strange? The more you chase her, the faster she runs away. But the moment you step back and focus on yourself, she suddenly wants your attention. Why does this happen? Today, we're going to talk about why being too available kills attraction and what you can do about it. Look, this isn't about playing games. This isn't about ignoring people or being rude. This is about understanding a simple truth. When you drop everything for someone, you're telling them that you have nothing else going on in your life, and that is not attractive. Would you want to be with someone who has no purpose, no goals, no life outside of you? Probably not. So let's break down why this happens and how to fix it. Point 1. You become predictable. Here's the thing about being too available. You become predictable. She texts you, you reply in 10 seconds. She asks to hang out, you cancel your plans immediately. She wants attention, you drop everything. At first, she might think it's sweet, but over time, it gets boring. Why? Because there's no mystery anymore. She knows exactly what you'll do every single time. Let me give you an example. Imagine your favorite song, the one you love right now. Now, imagine if that song played on repeat 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. How long before you get sick of it? That's what happens when you're always available. You become background noise. But here's what changes everything. When you have your own schedule, your own goals, your own life, suddenly your time becomes valuable. She can't predict you anymore, and that creates interest. Not because you're playing games, but because you're living your own life. Point 2. You show low value. This might sound harsh, but hear me out. When you're always available, you're sending a message. That message is, I have nothing better to do than wait for you. Think about the most interesting people you know. Are they sitting around waiting for someone to text them? No, they're busy. They're working on projects, they're improving themselves, they're chasing their dreams. And here's the crazy part. People want what's hard to get. Not because we're shallow, but because we value things that require effort. If something comes too easy, we don't appreciate it as much. Let me tell you a quick story. There was a guy who liked a girl in his class. Every single day, he would text her good morning. He would always be there when she needed to talk. He would drop everything to help her. Guess what happened? She started dating someone else. Someone who barely gave her attention. Why? Because that other guy had his own life. He had goals, he had hobbies, he had purpose, and that was attractive. Now, the first guy wasn't a bad person. He was actually really kind, but kindness without boundaries looks like desperation, and desperation kills attraction faster than anything else. Point 3. You lose your identity. Here's something most people don't talk about. When you make someone the center of your world, you disappear. Your hobbies, gone. Your friends, forgotten. Your goals, on hold. Everything becomes about her. And here's the problem. She didn't fall for someone who had no life. She was attracted to the person you were before you became too available. The guy who had dreams, the guy who had passions, the guy who was building something. But when you drop all of that, you become a different person, a weaker version of yourself, and she notices. I'm not saying you should ignore people you care about. I'm saying you should never, ever lose yourself in the process. Your purpose comes first. Your goals come first. Your self-respect comes first. When you have these things solid, your relationships actually get better. Why? Because you're coming from a place of strength, not neediness. You're choosing to spend time together, not desperately clinging. Point 4. The Stoic approach. The ancient Stoics understood something powerful. You can't control other people, but you can control yourself. You can't control if she likes you. You can't control if she texts back. You can't control her feelings, but you can control how you spend your time, how you react to situations, whether you chase or walk away with dignity, whether you have a life outside of relationships. And when you focus on what you can control, something amazing happens. You become calm. You become confident. You become attractive. Because here's the truth. Attractive people don't chase. They don't wait around. They don't drop everything for someone who barely makes time for them. Attractive people have options. Not because they're playing games, but because they're living a life worth living. They're focused on their mission. They're building their future. They're becoming better every single day. And guess what? People notice that energy. They're drawn to it. Not because you're trying to impress them, but because you're genuinely impressive. So here's what I want you to remember. Being too available doesn't show love, it shows lack of purpose. The solution isn't to play games. The solution is to build a life so interesting that you don't have time to be available 24/7. Work on your goals, spend time with your friends, build your skills, chase your dreams. When you do this, you become naturally less available, not because you're trying to be, but because you actually have things going on. And that is the most attractive thing you can do. Remember this, your time is valuable, your energy is valuable, your attention is valuable. Don't give it away to people who don't appreciate it. Stay focused on your path, stay true to yourself, and the right people will respect that. If this helped you today, hit that like button. Subscribe for more content on self-improvement and inner strength. And remember, the strongest move is always to choose yourself. I'll see you in the next one.